HN eligible to return this week? Also, how is Robert Hunt doing? How is Robert Jones doing?
Okay, so um, window open practicing today, Devon. And then you said two Robs.
Both of them, Robert Hunt
Plural.
and
Robs. Robs are both week to week. Want to see how they respond. Um, not quite in the day-to-day category as of yet, but we're going to see how they respond today with practice. But they've had a good bye week of rehabilitation. They're I think we did allude a little bit to it, but to further extrapolate onto that point with Kendall, he's it's part of his what he brings to the team is versatility. Not every tackle can play both left and right. He does an exceptional job doing both for us. He does have that versatility to go inside, which will be exercise that versatility a little or more and more as the season progresses now because of the different types of things that you have to be prepared to do on game day with the different lineups. So I wouldn't expect to see him sooner than later at the guard spot. However, he will be training there, and who knows? My crystal ball definitely doesn't on how soon we would see him inside or outside or wherever. Good news is he's up for the challenge. He has really taken to the scheme since we got him mid last year, and then just really developed with Butch, and so I feel very confident with him playing in any spot, and will utilize his versatility to the extreme. Now that this is something that you're not surprised by, but you have to be ready for. So we'll be ready for all the different hoops that might or may not have to be jumped through. Me, personally? You know what? Man, that's nice. No one ever asks me how I feel. Maybe because it doesn't matter. No, quite honestly, it was really, at this state, since I've been an adult, this is the only pattern of life that I know since I went directly from college to coaching. So understanding what the bye week needs to be for the late, I think I'm pretty adept at that. Got a season under my belt from this seat, and just knowing, how many people you ultimately will need to give your best to, and how at the end of this season, one thing that I won't do is regret, my input and effort. So the bye week was all built around that. I was a dad, and I had like 5 meals a day to stay healthy, and I got a ton of sleep. And I think the players in the team meeting felt the wrath of my buildup of energy because. See, my voice just squeaked because it was so crazy. But they understand what's ahead of us, and just really excited to get back to work with everyone rejuvenated. But yeah, this is as healthy as this body has felt in a long time. So I'm ready to go kick some extra points, get some reps in punt rush. All to the favor of whoever's going against me. I'm so confident that he is going to play today. See what I did there?
Yes.
And, I think it was in the realm of, there wasn't tearing. It was more type injury that the thing that you do if you have to if you really minimize the time off the field is in those situations with players, you throw a brace on their knee and have them go. And I just didn't really envision him being one that would really flourish with a brace. So we took the time to make sure that we can play. We could get structurally completely strong, and we probably we erred on the side of caution with that. But he's everything seems to be ready to go for today's practice, and then you do what you do with every other player. You don't, planning to have him for the rest of the season or no games is basically how my life works, and by extension, the rest of the offensive staff. So we'll see how he does today, but I know he's eager to play football and not observe it like he has been.
Mike, I'm not going to ask you if you have a version of the tush push.
Then don't.
Right? No, the wind up and the pitch. But why haven't we seen a version of the tush push from this offense this season?
I don't know. I think it's important for plays. You know what? Fans, coaches, players, they all like the same plays. They're the plays that work. So we've done our due diligence. We've had different versions of it to attempt it, but to get really good at something, it has to fit everything that that your players are really good at, and and you have to be all in. So if you go and do something because it worked for somebody else, and then try to employ it and expect that those types of results, you're probably going to fail. I think the whole league has tried it, and it's something that you never just say no, it's not for us. You're always really each and every week that comes you're deciding whether or not you want to orchestrate something to that effect in those situations, and you decide what best plays are for you and what plays aren't. So I think it's something that's why I respect the play, and that's why I respect that they do it, is because I would love to have that success rate in third and fourth and short. But the defense gets paid too, and you have to be very well versed to have the success they have, which is why there's only one. It would be different if every team was perfecting that. When you really look at all the quarterback sneaks, more often than not, there's somebody that's pushing at this point in time as a result of what they've done. But you just can't sit there and say, I want this play to work. You have to do what your players do best. So that's where we err. But I mean, shoot, the opening play of the game this week might be. Okay? No, we were just we released all of them. No, you build up for like the bye week is a benchmark that your whole training staff is working towards, keeping in mind where players are at, and if we can utilize that, and if you're making decisions with the player on a whole litany of things. So typically when you get to the bye week, there's a slew of people that have a day off at that position. Both Braxton and Waddle are battling through stuff that almost every week you can feel that Tyreek is working through things to get his Ferrari the exact way he wants it, but he doesn't. To call that, he just needs rest. He runs farther and faster than everybody. So a bunch of things like that. I think you'll see most of the guys, or a lot of the guys that you didn't see last practice. There'll be some more participation. We'll we'll kind of drag our feet with some other guys just to be smart. But for the entirety of the team, it was probably a well-placed bye week. I think the first 150 days are kind of, you get the summer vacation, but then training camp stacks into the start of the regular season. That's a build up, and we try to do right by their bodies and make sure the guys that are running a lot get the necessary rest while also keeping their iron sharp. I love opponent questions, especially on Monday. So this is a new Christmas. What a cool player, because he kind of burst onto the spotlight as a rookie and created a name for himself out the gate, which is unusual. But he's proven why he is the player he is, why he garners the respect he deserves, and continues to evolve in his game, because he is a player that has a relentless motor, that has the ability to win in both run and pass downs. With his strain, and he has I don't know if you'd call it a slippery ability to bend around the punch of tackles and tight ends. He can really get on edges of players and disrupt the game, and he doesn't take downs off while doing it. So typically in the course of an NFL game, his opponent is letting up at one point in time, and it seems like every single time you give him an inch, he'll take the yard, the tackle for loss, the sack, the forced interception. He'll take advantage of that by the way he plays. So he's both talented with a high motor, and that generally equals success in the National Football League. Well, I think that is I would love to know the statistics behind teams that make a coaching change in season, but it's not the first time it's ever happened, and it's not. I think the thing that I always notice when it does occur, when you do have a coaching change and then you have immediate success followed by another game of success, is that the locker room feels something of, it's like an energy, an anti-divide. It galvanizes people, brings people together, and no one likes to say bye to people that they know, that they work. I don't care what you say, even if you're going through hard times, it's tough to say goodbye to people. And when you do have that sort of change, I feel like people try to make it purposeful and come together and it's a legitimate tool that makes teams very, very dangerous, because however it happens, if you can get a unit of players to work in one direction and play for each other, you're a very, very dangerous team in the National Football League. It is hard to get wins. I think the overall records of the teams, and how there's how many teams have 3 to 5 losses, like the whole league. It's little things like that where teams are playing together that can really force results that maybe some people aren't expecting. So it's a talented team. They have well-coached fundamentals in all 3 phases, and I think what you're seeing is a team that it means something to play each and every game, because they feel that much more a part of a part of the journey when you have as much adversity as one can have in the middle of the season, which is a staff change. So kudos. I think it says a lot about the players in the locker room. I think it says a lot about their talent, but also the type of people that they have, that they've been able to band together and rip off a couple wins, which is the only thing that can make you feel better when your system is kind of unraveled. Well, I think it's passion, and your happiness will always be an unintended consequence of winning. But when you can have passion towards the otherwise what people would view as the monotonous, or when you can have that's joyful. Like, sweating is hard. You see a lot of people sweating, having fun and smiling, and to me, something that I can tell the question is kind of geared towards my philosophy, because I do prioritize people being happy, but that's because I want them to be passionate and I want them to be 100% all in. So to be 100% all in, you have to sit there and look to your side and notice that, hey, my teammate is really busting his butt for me. I'm going to go that much harder. Oh, this is fun while we're doing it. I think there's something to be said about to be your best self. You have to be yourself. So when you're trying to be yourself, or it's fun being able to do the passionate game that you dreamed about doing. When you're able to fully be yourself, I think that there's a part of it there. But it's not, it's not just directly correlated happiness, productive, regardless of how hard it is, but that can help them win and do all the things in their individual and team-oriented goals. You're gonna have a more pleasant, more invested, more exuberant individual, and so I think it's part of our jobs to create a situation where guys can feel like they can assert their best selves, because again, it makes no sense to me if we're asking guys to be their very best version of themselves. They have to find a balance of being themselves and also being constructive and focused. So work can be fun if you know that you're not going to be judged for that fun. No, really, I wanted to less about X's and O's. Like, from my seat, from where I'm at with this team, I am very, very happy about our pre-bye week season. And why is that? Because we've invested enough to the point that we've been able to, win 6 out of 9 games. That's the plus. But in the losses, we got something out of it each time. And that's because guys haven't ran from, guys really wanted to win each one of those games. And we didn't. But in the process, we're a different team because of it, because we've really held each other accountable and haven't ran from any of our failures. So the bye week, I just wanted us to pick up where we left off and not lose sight of the journey that we're right in the middle of, but all of those hours of direct focus, of full and utter commitment to the things that everyone's cheered for on Sundays. Those are things that we've earned through deliberate practice and complete immersion into our individual workday. So the bye week allows you to get back to family. It is the biggest gap that you have with your team. Like, we see each other every day besides the player day off for like 6 months straight. there's a little break in that. What was important to me is that we get back to we take advantage of the rest, but we build upon everything that we've really built in the first 9 games, which has been unbelievable for this team, for the journey I know in front of us. And it's not as easy as the successes are positive and the negatives are negative. Like we've got really good on time training, real life training. This team has on the things that are going to hit us in the face moving forward. So that us getting back to work, us being fresh, and us remembering the first quarter or the first half of the process, being attached to that and doing right by all of that work each and every day, starting with today, is what I prioritize. And not the X's and O's and stuff will work into the meetings as the week progresses, with Wednesday starting it.